An enormous process starts for you, the journey, and you'll find your true twin flame and be with them together, guaranteed. But that's a whole process. When you step into the group course, I need to guide that for you. And I love doing that. I think it's beautiful. It's a deeply inspiring process also for me to do that for you. But I need to be very conscious of how responsible that is. Because if I do that wrong, if anyone does that wrong, if you let yourself be guided by anyone that does not know what they're doing, you could have serious issues in your soul. You've accrued lots of karma. And I don't want to have that on my pile of things, right? No, thank you. So we need things to make that land safely. And one of the things to make it all land safely for you, for me, for anyone, is the values that come with the working with the key tool, with working with the key tool in the group program. And these are the 12 values. And we're going to discuss them today. Yeah. So just let's cut through the chase and just do it. So the first one is letting go to come into your bloom in a natural way. So clearly it all starts off with letting go. There's a lot to let go on the twin flame journey. Who you're actually not, although you thought you were. Who your twin flame is not, although you hoped they were. Things about what your purpose in the world is that you were mistaken about. Things about your identity that did not belong to you. Things that you do in your everyday life that actually don't help you, but you need to get into contact with that and then shaken up by it a little bit so that you become aware that this is actually what you need to let go. So many things can be let go of. Oh, many more than I just said. Many, many, many more. Who knows what it is for you? People, bosses, things you valued in yourself that are actually not belonging to your true value set in your union. Things that you've done that belong to a behavior pattern that have nothing to do with who you will be in your harmonious twin flame union and what you will do then. All kinds of things can be let go of. Who knows what it is for you? What are you letting go of? But we're not just letting things go. We're coming into bloom in a natural way through that process. So there's a process of coming into bloom in a natural way for who you truly naturally, or maybe supernaturally, if you want to express it like that, because it is about who and what you truly are in the light of your soul, in the light of spirit, the divine itself. So maybe you want to call that supernatural. That would be fine too for me. Coming into bloom in this natural and or supernatural way. And apparently it works with letting go. Because what you're coming to bloom in and coming to bloom as is actually something that only needs to be uncovered. And there it is already. You're already blooming. Just like the dirt just needed to be scratched off a little bit, and there you are. And that's the process. And that's the first value. 2, prosperity in the moment. Pointing to the fact that, you are already wealthy, rich, prosperous, abundant, of everything good, of everything that is divinely good for you as the divine feminine or the divine masculine, depending on which you are, in your union. In the moment, in the now. And the now is not, at least not only, the moment between the past and then there's the now and then the future. No, the now is letting go of that entire idea of the timeline. and landing in the relationship with your divine core. That is your union. And then there's like nothing else, or you could say like everything like sort of starts to bow down to your now moment. Well, that sounds a little weird perhaps, but it is sort of like that. How else can I say that? Things start to form to you in that now moment, but with the timeline disappeared altogether. And that's really like the consciousness state that it points to, right? And in that now moment, without the timeline even existing anymore, there is your prosperity already. It's just waiting for you to be discovered there. It's just your direct relationship with the core of your union, and through that with the core of the divine itself. And that's where you find everything prosperous for you. Even though you would want it to come out as that particular sports car and that particular job with that particular salary, with that particular budget per month for your biological groceries that you can shop. Maybe you want to even hire a cook. It costs a lot of money, a lot of prosperity too, to make it for you so that you have all your free time. All your time freed up, I need to say, for your twin flame mission. Maybe that's, part of your dream. I don't know what your dream is. Maybe your dream is much your heart's desire is much more humble. That's also fine. It doesn't matter. It just means like the full version of you in expression in the world, in form, in manifestation, in the physical. The full version of that, what would that be? What that would be for you? That is all present in that now moment. When you let it seep into how you act and what you do and what is going to happen, if you really let that in, if you let it in from the now moment out, in with sort of energetic fingers into all these places of practical life. So that's another value. Well, does it sound boring, this list of values, or does it already start to sound a little bit good? I hope so. Let's move on. 3. Surrender to the bigger whole. Well, even though we start to know and live as the knowing that we are the divine masculine or the divine feminine, depending on which you are, of your union, which is together directly under who created you, the divine itself, or however you want to call it. It doesn't matter how you call it, the source of that. That's what you know. That's what we know. And even as that, we surrender as that. So not the old-fashioned, we're just like people all around, scattered around the earth. No, we're part of a union with our twin flame. Okay. But even there, you surrender as that to the bigger whole. You surrender to the fact that we're actually one consciousness between you and your twin flame. And then from that place on, you surrender to the fact that everyone's union consciousness is one big union consciousness. And that's what you surrender to. That's the third value that we will have in our work together in the group Twin Flame Abundance Now, that is still open for around 21 hours at the moment that this is recorded. The subscription of it, right? So great. So let's go to 4. Insight in what does not work and letting that go. That's another value that we have. to guide the twin flame inner work in the right direction, insight in what does not work, and letting that go. So letting go, we had already established that was, part of the deal. But you get insight in what does not work. You get true insight in yourself, in how you functioned before and how you can function better in your harmonious twin flame union consciousness state that you will reach by doing this inner work in the group course together with your twin flame, and what did not work before. And you will get true insight so that you will, as a result, not do it again because you had true insight. True insight means that something truly changed for you. It's not only like an idea in your brain, but true insight is it has landed in the heart. So everything is different now. Your behavior is different, your thoughts are different, your feelings are different. That's when you had the true insight. And that indeed implies in letting go as well, implies letting go as well. And the great thing is that you'll learn what does not work. So you really get wise in this journey, and you just get this insights in what does not work that could very possibly, actually that's guaranteed, be little nuggets that are valuable for other people as well. And you establish that on your true journey. And that's how you can start to share in Twin Flame Mission. That's really your purpose with your Twin Flame. And it's really something that is, grounded when you do it with these values intact, so that you help other people also very grounded and not floating around like idiots that can make nothing come true anymore because they're just so high all day long. You will be super duper high in harmonious twin flame union, but that is not to be misused. Maybe we should add that as a value. Oh gosh, anyway. Well, I guess that's sort of implied in all these points, right? Let's move on to number 5. Understanding for myself, and in that way also for others. Oh, you see how that continues to grow on each other, to build on each other, because I actually was already talking about this. Like, you start to understand things for yourself and therefore also for others, so you can share it in your mission. Well, I actually already said that. Wow. They're very organically flowing inside each other. So let's go to number 6. Compassion in action, so that your work contributes to the love of others. So the way you're going to stand in your purpose in your union, practically speaking, that will be your union's mission. That's how I would call it. And that is going to be compassion in action. So that your work contributes to the love of others and not to the criticism of others. Important. So we're not traveling to get insights so that we can share them, like in Dutch, my mother tongue, you would say bedweters. Oh, this is it in English as know-it-alls. We're not going to travel around as know-it-alls, not connected to anything divine, but just slapping everyone in the face with that we know it better. But we're just going to be compassion in action, which can be very direct too, which can be very, effective and efficient. Absolutely. It is the most effective and efficient. And, this compassion in action, actually, a lot of the time is not really doing too much, but is like compassion in action so that it does play a role in any social interaction by quietly standing in the right alignment. And whatever needs done can be done then. So that's another value, number 6. So number 7 is love for yourself. And the S of self is capitalized. So yeah, we're just going to see that not the ego is self-loved, but the self is self-loved. And you're just going to put everything in there that assists. And that's very much a foundation of anything we do with twin flame healing. Yeah. You are going to fully love and give every need and necessity to your body, to your existence, to your daily life, to your biological functioning. But you're not going to say that that is you. You know that your identity is actually spirit. And that is going to inspire you to take care of the physicality. And you're going to love yourself as that, as spirit, as part of your union fully. Because you let that reality in and in and in and seep more and more through in the forms of life, in the daily life of your body. In any which way form it takes. And then you're going to understand so much more every moment that this self is actually the union. And then you're going to understand more and more when you love that union more and more and more, that this union is actually the communication between you and the divine or source or the universe itself. And you're going to nourish that one more and more and more, deeper and deeper, so that you fully come to function on the earth in your twin flame union as the one that embodies that divine spark. And then you start to understand that that love of the divine spark is everything. Yeah, that's value number 7. And then we go to value number 8, and that is focus on the work that will bring love for the long term. So whatever you're gonna do in the Twin Flame Inner Work, in the group course Twin Flame Abundance Now that starts up, that we're wanting you in, we're waiting for you, to sign up, silver or gold. Whatever you're going to choose now, the value is that we choose that because it brings divine love for the long run, right? That's really also how you get your twin flame. That's how it's done. In every moment, you choose the option that will bring the love for your twin flame union for the eternal perspective. And that choice is it. And you keep on choosing that. And that's how you get there. Number 9. Value 9 is silence the inner so that you amend to the inside and towards the other. That's really about relationship. The value is relationship. And first you need to feel that relationship in yourself, in your heart. And you're just taking in a tiny little bit of a silent moment to make that relationship with yourself. And then you heal that relationship with the self. And when that is established, you can relate to other people, to that place in them that is also part of that divine silence. Yeah, that's another value that we have. And then we have number 10, share from the moment without passing yourself. You will step into your union experience and start to share from it. That's pretty much the whole purpose of Twin Flames. What I call Twin Flame mission. But you're not going to stand there with them and then share in the sense that you're going to give yourself away, and you're going to give yourself away, and you're going to give all your time for free and all your effort for nothing to them and to others and to God and to your neighbors and to your parents and to your children. No. The first sharing happens with yourself. And you get fuller and fuller and fuller of the nourishment of life itself, of twin flame love. And then it starts to share automatically. Taking into account normal psychological healthy boundaries that you put into place with rules and regulations and boundaries and normalness and not too much, but also not too little, things like that. That's how it goes. That was value number 10. And then we go to 11, bearing the fruit from a real growth and giving space for that. All of this will give you fruit. So this actually means that whatever you're going to manifest in your life will be built out of the nourishment of true divine love, true twin flame love, and not from anything else. And thus it will have a shining quality that is valuable in itself. And that true fruit, whatever it is, more money, better wardrobe, more food from a better quality, whatever the fruit is, more relationships with your perfect clients, that comes from real growth of real fruit. And what that needs is pretty much that you just embrace that space in which that can happen. So that's the 11th value. And then the 12th value is being yourself in all circumstances. So letting everything that we now talked about unfold no matter the situation. Well, there you go. No matter the situation, no matter the circumstances. And you're just going to grow into all 12. That's what can happen. That this is like a fully rounded, exercise, sort of, right? That you will experience in the group that you can step into now. You might start this all on your own. And you will end with your twin flame next to you, doing the very same. And that will all go seamless and be in peace. Oh, there will be many challenges. Don't worry about that. That's pretty much the road itself. Challenge, next challenge, next challenge, next challenge, next challenge. But that's life. It's not a problem. That's just life. But in truth, in the heart, you'll feel that it will be smooth and peaceful. That's how you know that you're on the true path to the true union with your true twin flame. If it's one big drama that doesn't cease, you know that you're not doing the right thing. Again, it doesn't exclude challenges because they belong to the path, but it's not crazy. I'm not doomed. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. That's the real journey.